Hey everyone, thanks for joining me again, and today we have another DAC and headphone amp. Here we have the Hifiman EF600. Let's take a quick look at the unit. On the front we have a few LEDs to the left and to the right, so we have a set of 4 here. High gain, non-oversampling, the next high gain oversampling, low gain oversampling, and finally low gain non-oversampling. On the right side, on the second row of LEDs, we have our inputs. And the top LED shows us if we have a signal coming in from our USB or coaxial digital in, followed by if we're switching to Bluetooth, then our RCA in, and finally our balanced XLR in. And you have a rocker button that controls the selection. Next you have the volume attenuator for the headphones section only. This does not affect your line out. The line level outs are fixed. And then down towards the bottom of the unit we have our headphone output. The first on balanced 4-pin XLR and the second on single-ended 6.35. One thing I will say is that I wish the volume knob here had a little more resistance. It's not wobbly, it's just kind of loose. If it had a little more resistance it would just feel nicer. The side profile is kind of interesting because you have an indent here because it's meant to actually be a headphone stand. So I think this particular unit is geared to a very specific customer. Definitely that premium headphone user that wants a dedicated desktop amp. On the rear, we have our inputs and our outputs. First off, a USB-B as well as a USB-C and a coaxial digital in, as well as a port for your Bluetooth antenna. Under that, you have your analog ins, one set of XLR balanced and one set of single-ended RCAs, followed by your analog outs. Again, one set of RCAs, one set of balanced XLRs. And finally, your IEC connector with a power rocker. This unit will not output the signal on the RCA and the XLR at the same time. You do have to select one of the two with the front rocker. So I'll tell you guys, I'm definitely not the customer for this unit. I personally find it to be a little bulky. I wouldn't put it on my desktop. I use my desktop as a workstation, so I have a lot of equipment on there and I just don't have the space for something of this size. The headphone amp is very powerful and it gives you up to 5 watts on a 32 ohm load. But for myself, where my desktop real estate is at a premium, I'd much rather have the topping A50 Mark III. That one at up to 3.5 watts. Now does that headphone amp sound as good as this one? I wouldn't say so, but it's definitely not far behind. And that unit is a headphone amp only, so you can use whatever DAC you want. What you have in the Hifiman is an R2R DAC, which gives you a wonderful sound. But with the A50 Mark III, you can select any DAC of your choice. That being said, this unit right here does have that analog in, so the EF600 can also be used as a dedicated headphone amp only if you have a DAC with different sound characteristics that you prefer, or maybe that you just prefer for different kind of music. So again guys, being that I'm not a big headphone user, I'm going to give you my impression of this unit primarily as a DAC. I found the sound of the DAC in this unit to be super pleasant. Very smooth, very holographic, not harsh in any aspect, the bass very rich and full, and spatially very wide and deep as well. I don't currently have another R2R DAC to give you a direct comparison, but I did compare the sound of this unit with the topping D50 Mark III as well as the topping D90 Mark III Sabre. First comparing it with the much more affordable D50 Mark III, the EF600 beats that DAC on clarity, it beats that on soundstage and imaging, and it beats it in the mid-range. The only thing that the D50 Mark III beats this unit on is going to be in the bass control. While that bass is a little thinner than the bass you get out of the EF600, it tends to be a little more precise, but not by much. I think the differences are slight. Now going the other route, comparing the EF600 to a more expensive DAC, the D90 Mark III Sabre, the EF600 still has a couple wins, primarily the soundstage. Still a little bit wider than the D90, a little bit deeper, and generally more enveloping sound. I found this unit particularly more enjoyable when watching TV. My partner and I were loading up X-File reruns and going back and forth between the toppings and the Hifiman. TV watching was definitely more enjoyable with this unit. It gave you more of that surround sound feeling out of a 2.0 channel system. And that followed along with music as well. Now the D90 Mark III Sabre did outshine the EF600 on detail, but generally speaking it's just a different kind of sound. I don't really think that those would be the same customers. Or if it is, I think it's somebody that understands that you are going to get very different sound characteristics. The Hifiman's mid-range was definitely a little more forward, and all the vocals seem to have a little bit of glow. A little bit of reverb like you would get with a tube device. So generally I really like the sound of this unit. As a DAC alone, I think it's worth it at its price point, originally at $799. Now down to $649 over at Apos. Again, if you're not striving for the highest level of detail and want more of that spacious feel, this unit is a great option. Just hook it up to your preamp and amp or your integrated and you're good to go. Next I'll have a sound demo for you, jumping back and forth between the EF600 and the topping D90 Mark III Sabre. Let me know if you can tell the differences over YouTube and let everybody know which one you prefer down in the comments. Thanks guys, I'll see you on the next one.
Hi. Buenas noches a todos. Decidí hoy subir a cantar a estos lugares donde normalmente la gente come y no lo escuchan a uno, pero hay una amiga muy especial que está escuchando esta canción. Amiga, marica, ya. Bueno, aquí voy, dale. La veo sufriendo sola aunque lo niegue. Se muerde los labios pa' poder ser fuerte. ¿Cuántas horas de llorar son suficientes pa' entender que no es amor, así que suerte? Ella trata de aguantar y no se enoja. Te da más amor porque no quiere perderte. Pero que va, ya por ti no llora más. Hoy yo voy a pedirle que te deje porque tú no vales nada. Amiga, deja solo a ese payaso. Si le pagaran por hacerte sufrir ya sería millonario. Desde ahora se convierte en adversario. Y hoy salimos a beber si es necesario. Y nos tomamos las 200 copas que hayan en la barra. Y nos subimos a cantar la tusa hasta que todos se vayan. Esta noche voy a cumplir con mi misión. Es que tú repitas el pedazo de mierda es él y no soy yo. Uy, servime otro. Otra vez te falla y dice que lo siente. Ya tiene el truquito ese pa' convencerte. La rutina es que con otra se divierte. Llega a casa y quiere hacerse el inocente. Tiene cara pa' comprarte con detalles y una labia digna de recuperarte. Pero que va, tú por él no lloras más. Dile a ese pendejo que se vaya porque ya no vale nada. Amiga, deja solo a ese payaso. Si le pagaran por hacerte sufrir ya sería millonario. Desde ahora se convierte en adversario. Y hoy salimos a beber si es necesario. Y nos tomamos las 200 copas que hayan en la barra. Y nos subimos a cantar la tusa hasta que todos se vayan. Y esta noche voy a cumplir con mi misión. Es que tú repitas el pedazo de mierda es él y no soy yo. Donde no te buscan no haces falta. Pero esto va para todas. Demuéstrale que se va a tener que poner más hijo de puta si te quiere volver a ver llorar. Así que arriba esas copas, salud.